Welcome back to the actual shop and the actual territory we all know and love with all of our bad luck we've had.
All the stuff.
All the stuff and things and more stuff. Yeah, so, let's get into it because this is going to be a long video or a mini long videos. Long story short, so this truck, as you can see, we got kind of a cool setup going on here. We got no bed and then we're hauling a horse trailer with it. Now, this has never been on the channel. I did a first startup video, again, on my TikTok. This is a 1965 International, and we've had it, I don't know if you remember it in the past, it was sitting all the way over there. Now, why I got it running and driving, we had to move some things in the yard, and we're building an antique gas station now. So, that's something that I don't know, you guys can say, if you would like to see some, you know, carpentry and stuff, maybe Alex and I build something stupid or finish up that gas station. If you guys want to see something like that, let us know. But if not, we're just going to keep doing our automotive stuff because, I don't know.
Nobody comments anyway.
Nobody comments anyway. So, anywho, 65 International, I did a first startup on it. We'll probably do some stuff on the channel with it. It was kind of a hokey startup. It's just got a fuel pump in it. Dad threw in a brand new seat cover, so it looks kind of cool. Maybe we'll take it on its first drive, and let's say I found a thing in there, and it was 25 years. So it's got a new carb on it and stuff like that. So it's ready to drive around. And then we got our custom fuel cell. That's in I don't know. It's
that's just
brought to you by Roadkill.
The name of the channel.
Exactly, Death Trap. And the tires are off of off of a Crown Victoria. So I don't know, you guys have seen this had a tree fall on it. Haven't done anything with it except for move it. Again, if you want to see it on the channel, we'd like to do something fun with it that doesn't cost very much. Now that's kind of hard nowadays because we're in 2023 and everything costs more than my house, so that's kind of hard. Well, let's keep moving. We got some other new rigs that have made it into the yard that we have never seen before. Even Alex has not really seen them. So again, another thing we could do on the channel, if people would like to see it, we have a little antique travel trailer. If we would want to throw that together on the channel, maybe that'd be something cool. No one's gonna comment, but if you do, if you're on the video still and want to see it, we can do something with it. This is something I also did a startup on, caused some controversy on the old TikTokers, and everybody was giving me shit about it, and people are just stupid. But this is a 1956 Tri5 Chevy. It has an unknown Chevy V8 in it, which I have yet to look at the casting numbers and stuff, but we think it's a it's like a 327. So I got it running, but the gentleman that sold it to my father said that it would drive and everything, and I ended up dropping the oil on it, and it was about as watery as with gas as it could get, and it was kind of a pile. So I did get it running. It runs really nice now. Went to put it in gear. I don't think there's a clutch in it. So we're gonna have to drop the transmission, see what's going on there.
You and trannies, man.
Oh my gosh, I just have the worst luck with automatic. Well, this is a manual actually. So this is,
that should be easy.
It's super cool. It's like an old antique race car. This would be something fun, really fun to take to Torque Fest to go around the track. I don't know, maybe you'd agree.
That's true, yeah.
So this is maybe something we can sneak in and haul it over there with the 29 if Alex's Camaro's not done, and then we can both participate, which would be awesome. Yeah. Or even Dad can bring this over too, so we might need a bigger trailer.
When are we getting a semi?
When are we getting a semi? So 56 Chevy, this will be on the channel. It's kind of cool. A lot of people like these. I've never liked Tri5 Chevys just because they're very common, and me with very common cars like the Chevelle on the channel, I don't like them. Everybody else does though. And they're popular. So 56 Chevy race car. We know this. This was the donor for the Cummins swapped short bed, and we'll make our way back there and talk about that. We got all this Chevy parts, GMC parts.
So if you want any,
if you need GMC parts or a cab for a Cummins, there you go. I also have 3 titles for Cummins trucks, so let me know. Scout, been sitting since the last video. Still would really love to do a off-road video with everything.
yeah. It's just that we're in Iowa, so it'd have to be a trip.
Yeah, it just sucks. It's so long. Let's go over here to the other new rig on the channel. this is something that I don't know, we'll probably film it, or I'll film it just because.
The rims.
Just because it's something different. It's cool. It's a delivery wagon. Now the thing with this is, again, my father bought it. They said the engine was good, and sadly, the engine is not good. And we have a new engine sitting in the back already right now. So we just got to throw that new engine in it, and we'll probably pull the big aluminum cab off. This is a 66 Grumman delivery wagon. Super neat rig. This is gonna be my dad's retirement vehicle. So something cool we can film.
Sick, dude.
Hopefully it would be something that we can kind of film quickly.
My Breville Express in here on a counter and make coffee and sell.
Oh, dude, it's sick, dude. I don't know, it's super cool. And this is something that leads me to something really neat, is that since he acquired this, we get our hands on something that I've kind of wanted to do. I haven't told Alex about this, so we can go walk and talk about it. But this is a project that might come true, might not. Look at this fucker over here, snooping. So everybody calls it a school bus, and everybody always asks about if it's for sale. Everybody asks everything about it. And, you know, I got finally the go-ahead. If I want to do something with it, now we're able to do something with it. And that is this. Now this is a pretty neat rig. I don't know what we want to do with it yet, but it's super cool, and I'd like to do a chassis swap on it. I don't know if it's gonna be the near future or the long time away, but we definitely need to get that Grumman with the engine in it before we mess with this and button up some more projects. But maybe this is something we can start doing on social media, ask the public some questions, and we can kind of decide what we want to do from there. I would really love to turn this into even just like a car hauler would be neat, but it would be really cool to make it into like an old antique camper, turn it into a four-wheel drive conversion. The possibilities are endless, and I don't know if Alex would be as excited as I am about it, but I think this is a really cool rig. So it's one of the most talked about. Everybody always asks questions about it on the videos.
I mean, the patina.
The patina is out of the world. It is full of like 35,000 air compressors from the 1920s. So
what?
That's why it dives like that in the back end. But I don't know. Maybe we should find just like a wrecked brand new F250 or F150. It'd be kind of cool.
Yeah, just have to see the measurements, right?
Yeah, just gotta check the wheelbase, and if we get the wheelbase right, we're good to go. So
you just be known for that.
What, just body swaps?
Yeah.
We should just do body swaps. Speaking of body swaps / engine swaps, this is our swapped 1990 short bed single cab Cummins. So this has been a kind of an ongoing story on the channel. We got this vehicle, and the ECU had some messed up pins, and then it skipped timing on the good engine, and so we just ended up putting all W250 suspension drivetrain under it. The truck is ready to go. Now, this wasn't on the channel, but when Alex was rebuilding his transmission, I was rebuilding a transfer case. Little known to me, I put the seal in I didn't put the seal back in the transmission between the transfer case. Transfer case is 100% full of transmission fluid and needs to be dropped. So if this goes to show you about him and I sometimes go a little bit fast on things, and maybe sometimes we should hire more professionals to do what we do. But how would that be fun? So I need to drop the transfer case, put that seal in, or I need to take it to somebody and have them do that. We are also losing some coolant. The column needs buttoned up because I can never tell what gear I'm in. And then there's some stuff on the front end that still just needs buttoned up, and I've been kind of stuff like that. This could be a very, very expensive truck if and when it's done correctly. And I don't know, we've talked about maybe selling it just to fund some more stuff, but we don't know yet. What do you think, Alex? I think it's a sweet little truck.
Yeah.
I think it's absolutely awesome, but we don't know.
It doesn't need too much.
It doesn't need anything, and this has, like I said, a 3/4 ton suspension on it. So if we need to haul a car trailer, this is completely able to do it. And if we got another car trailer, that'd be awesome, and we could haul more shit. It's just gonna depend on what life takes us and where we go. So nobody knows the Corvair, but it's still on the back burner.
Yeah, we had plans.
I still really want to source at the very least, I want to get it back running and driving this year. It was such a funny looking car. It has its own personality. That's what Sean built back in the old days. So just fucking wacky shit. And I kind of miss those olden days. But if you guys want to see a Corvair, bingo. Maybe we should just start doing polls. I don't know, on like TikTok and stuff. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean.
Maybe that's just what we need to do. Maybe we let the people decide what our projects are going to be. Yeah. I mean, we'll give them options, but we just need to find something to go do with everything.
We're gonna get
if we have more time.
Recommending very expensive things.
Yeah, everybody wants everything to be super expensive, but we kind of need to be a little bit more budget in mind, just because Alex and I, neither of us are rich. So maybe we should start a Patreon.
Hey, maybe if you subscribe.
If you subscribe to the channel, we'll do anything you want, whenever you want. Okay, here's 2 vehicles that we need, actually, well, one vehicle we definitely need to finish up, and the other one that I have been working on behind the scenes and nobody knows about. That up there is my 68 Ford Torino. Now, we've never talked about it on the channel. If we have, you know, it's been very lightly. And underneath of it is a 2011 Crown Victoria with a 5.3 LS and a turbo 400 built transmission behind it. So this is going to be the first iteration of a drag car on the channel. So you purists out there are going to shit a brick, but I'm cutting that whole frame out from underneath, the subframe from the Torino, and it's going to be stuck on this body. It's already started. I got this driver's side ready to go, ready to be lowered, and it's ready to go, as well as the Torino it still needs to be cut out, but it's forwardly in the plans. I used Outcast motor mounts for this front end. The LS is fully mounted, and it won't take no time at all to make a transmission mount. The only thing that's going to be out of both of our realms is a wiring harness and all this electrical stuff, because we're not good at electrical stuff. If the Coyote Wagon proved that, I don't know what wouldn't. So this will be the first drag car on the channel and my own personal drag car. Do plan on doing a very cheap turbo setup on it, so that way we can hopefully run about 600 horse, and then we can go to these drag and drive events. I've not really talked to Alex about that, but these events that are a week long, you drag race at every track, and then you go to the next track. It's super cool. We're just trying to get Alex to have his own business so he can have more time off. So that being said, this should be really cool, super unique Torino drag car, Crown Vic, LS. I mean, it's just a hybrid of its own, disaster nonetheless. And this is the vehicle that we had the issues with the harness. I just went to town cutting it, cut up the heck out of the harness. Now this body harness is completely unusable, and I can't get the unibody running. So that's that. That's the first drag car, 68 Torino drag car. Now, speaking of Fords, we still have this beauty. This is still probably one of my favorite vehicles. I don't know, it's my favorite vehicle on the channel, almost, other than the 29. It's super cool. I love the four bucket seats is just what makes this thing insanely cool. It is 61 Ford Country Sedan Wagon. Now, it's rare nonetheless, and what makes it even better is it has, which all of you should know if you're from the channel, 2011 Coyote 5.0 in it. Now, we had a ton of issues with this, from the transmission all the way up to the wiring, and we're finally to the point of good to go with it. And there, right before winter, I got everything filled back up, all ready to go, and it's ready for its next test drive. Never got done just because it's so muddy outside, and it's
really hard to get around.
It's really hard to get around
when it's wet out there.
The other thing is it needs disc brakes, either all four corners, or it needs some more massaging underneath, because the transmission, the drive shaft hits the floor pretty bad. But nonetheless, it is ready to go, ready to test drive, and ready to kind of work out the details. This would be a sweet car also to take on one of those drag and drives events, because it's a wagon, you don't see many of them. It'd also be a very sweet car to just hot rod around in, take to Torque Fest, take to all these old shows, because it should be extremely reliable. But we built it, which makes it less reliable. You can go back to the series. We had endless issues with it, but I think we have a very good chance at.
But there was just one little big issue that we couldn't find,
and we won't talk.
And we had to take it.
We had to take it to a dealer, and it was the dumbest thing ever, and it was super frustrating because it cost a lot of money to fix for no real reason. But
well, because they had to spend hours finding it.
Yeah, they had to spend, and an ASE certified technician took hours to find it, let alone me trying to find it. Like, it is what it is. It's what happens when you try to go the cheap route. If we could go back in time and buy a $2,000 Holley Terminator X system to run the engine and transmission, we would do that.
Been cheaper.
In the time frame. The things we're kind of getting bad about is we're trying to go the cheap route, and then we end up getting burned in the future because
sort of the fast route.
Yeah, yep. The cheaper and faster route kind of screws us over, and we should just go the more expensive route and slower route, and then it saves us so much time in the future. So, which is something that you have to learn with enough experience.
We're just trying to bust out videos, and then we got burned.
Yeah, we got burned so many times, and that's what almost made me want to give up, because there's no benefit to reward, really, because we're one of the smaller channels, and we were kind of growing at a slower pace than our quality was. Our quality was, excuse all the smaller YouTubers out there getting started, Alex's quality of video makes, he literally could go to film school and show up a lot of people, and we were having that quality and we weren't making it very far. So it got pretty frustrating for me because we're building some cool stuff too. I mean, there's not very many people with 61 Wagon Coyote. And there's not very many people that can crank out, well, how many cars do we crank out in 2 years? Like 4 or 5 cars. And that's with a budget of like, what we probably built all these cars for less than like 20. But we'll get back to it. But we almost gave up, mostly because we weren't as close by anymore. But we can probably make up something different, because that's not always going to be the case anyway.
Because I graduated.
He did graduate, and I'm self-employed now. So we both have a little bit more time, and we're trying to, I don't know. I think the plan is we're going to make 1 single day or 2 single days in a week to film and update everybody. It's just going to depend on his schedule and my schedule.
Because you need to record on the GoPro.
I need to record on the GoPro and get better about that, and maybe even try to edit my own shit.
Because now we both have GoPros, so we can record and then record the good stuff one day with the good cameras.
Yeah, we need to kind of find our way what we want to be. If we want to be like a pure build channel, or I don't know. We're some guys. I don't know. We can do everything. I just. That's very fucking true. So, but here we go. That's it. That's basically the update. Being is we're trying to get back at it. Well, we will get back at it. We're finally to the point in both of our lives where we have a little bit more time. We had those 3 years of pretty hard grinding on homes, and it's college, and setting up his career, setting up my career, and now we're kind of to the point where we have everything. Well, no one ever has anything figured out, but we're getting to the point where we have some stuff figured out. So,
hey, unless you're just a person that wants to start a family and live in a house. And,
yeah. Which isn't in the plan for both of us for a very, very long time. So we have a good amount of time to keep focusing on the hot rods. Don't you love my cop car? Oh. I think that's it, huh?
Hey?
Eh?
Yeah.
Don't you know?